straight up, did the Lakers put Melo in a position to succeed this season?
Why is that a question?
To just
We know the
elaborate
answer.
elaborate on
Of
why
course
you don't
not.
Come on,
Of course
son.
not. Although, again, playing the JJ Redick role, he's excelling. Listen, I'm shocked he's been this good.
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Should any team want Carmelo Anthony?
Blasphemous.
Yes, sir, Carmelo.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative, a podcast where we control the narrative that the media creates. If you're new around here, subscribe to catch our weekly podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you're a returner, a subscriber, or better yet, a Control the Narrative member, we appreciate you, the members, a little bit more. It's August, Jesus fucking Christ. It's April 4th, and the Los Angeles Lakers are not going to make the play-in. It's not mathematically done yet, but they are 2 games behind the Spurs with 4 games left, and the Spurs on the tiebreaker. So that means the Lakers have to have a better record than the Spurs. If they're tied, the Spurs win the tiebreaker. So this season's a wrap unless they go 4-0 and the Spurs go 0-4. They're out. So I just want to get right into this because I know that these two also have a lot to say. So we're going to bring them on now. Both return visitors on this pod. First off, we got Velo, top right. Velo, how you doing tonight, bro?
Great. Thanks for having me, Steve.
Of course, bro. Anytime. And on the bottom, we got Linda. And Linda hasn't been on in a minute, but we were just talking before the pod how she was one of the few people, along with me and Reggie, who were against this Lakers move for Melo from day one. So
yes, of course.
We'll get into it, but just wanted to give her respect there.
Thank you.
Velo, Velo, we can start with you in the top right, bro. One thing that was said a lot about this Lakers team, and we just talked about it real quickly before we started this, was, we thought, a lot of people, pretty much everybody thought that the Lakers were going to flip this switch at some point in the season. And they were just going to be like, yo, let's go. We're a veteran team. We know when to turn it on. The question is, how come they weren't able to flip that switch late in the season?
I mean, I think their entire season, and I know this is going to sound like excuses, but I think it's legit from the perspective, there's no consistency. They didn't have a legit lineup that they relied on. I think I heard a stat when they played, there was 38 lineup.
39
this year 39. Or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not normal, right? On a 82 game schedule to have almost half of the season, a different lineup, that starts a game. So no consistency there. Obviously, when you miss LeBron for 25, 30 games and AD for half of the year, you're not going to win a lot of games. And that's the reality. West is still the West, right? Even though East is better this year, West is still the West, and there's a lot of really good teams. So they're going to make you pay. So, from their perspective, I think that covers that. But another thing is I do feel like LeBron could have won some games by himself. You know what I mean? If you put him on this still pedestal that he's A-tier guy, you need to, it's great that you're scoring and all that, but can we get some wins out of these performances, right? And same out of Russell Westbrook. Can we get a win? And even Melo, can Melo, get hot one game and just win a game for the Lakers? And I don't think that happened. There was just nothing from nobody, and a lot of individual achievements, but not a lot of team success.
Yeah, well said. And the thing about that is LeBron was everyone talks about LeBron's numbers. He's averaging this many points, but if you can't fucking stop anybody, and we're all Carmelo Anthony fans, so we all, I think, value offense pretty highly. But at the end of the day, if you can't stop anybody once in a while, it doesn't matter if LeBron, puts 40 points up every game. And there were a few games where he scored 50 and all the shit like that. But, yeah, at the end of the day, it's impossible for him to, like you said, be consistent with that.
I respect the hell out. Don't get me wrong. I respect, year 19, 37, doing what he's doing. Props. Kudos to you.
Melo, right?
Get a couple of wins out of that performance.
You're talking about Melo, Velo?
I'm giving LeBron his flowers too. I don't want to be all shit on him, but I mean, 2 of them amazing year 19 for sure.
Yeah. Linda, why do you think they weren't able to flip that switch?
I mean, even before the season started, they went winless in the preseason. So if everybody
Yeah, good
remembers
point.
that, like, we always say like it's just the preseason, and it's true. But I've never seen a team go completely winless. Even the bad teams. Actually, the bad teams usually perform well in the preseason,
Yeah,
and then like the Orlando's and stuff, and then the season comes around and they stink it up. But for a quote unquote super team, and I thought they were a super team, even as bad as the season has gone, they're still considered a super team because we know Melo can drop 20 easy, LeBron 20 easy, AD when healthy 20 easy, and Westbrook, you know, Westbrook has played well when LeBron is not in the game
yeah,
or
yes,
not healthy. He really steps up, so he's still a triple double threat. So you got all these talented players. Add Monk in the mix. Monk is really nice. Can't even hate on him. You should be winning. Period. I mean, regardless if they give Melo such a inconsistent role in the offense, they should have been winning. And the preseason kind of told the story. And ESPN and all these media outlets were laughing. They were like, "This wasn't going to work." I knew it wasn't going to work, specifically for Melo, because once I heard Westbrook was coming to LA, I was like, "No way, Melo should go there."
exactly.
It didn't
Yep.
work in OKC. He's the best scoring option when he got to OKC. People will say Paul George, but that's obviously not the case when you get to the playoffs and you see how they both perform, right? So once I saw Westbrook was arriving, they traded all the bench players. This team wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. If they had Melo coming off the bench, it was not going to work. Now, had they have started Melo with LeBron and AD, not Dwight Howard or THT or what was the other one, Reeves and all these other fringe
There's
players.
literally everybody
Like
got a chance to
they tried
consistently start
everyone
besides
but
Melo.
Melo.
Yeah,
Right. I think that lineup would have been, you see, I said it to you earlier, the way him and AD, they have a chemistry, right? Melo and Davis. I think their chemistry is better than Davis and LeBron's, honestly. You could see that they enjoy playing with each other every time the Lakers, social media, they're snapping pictures of them, always dapping each other and
yeah,
everything.
they are.
And for whatever reason, Vogel never tried it. It doesn't make sense. I mean, Davis wasn't healthy half the year, but still, didn't even try when LeBron was out. And so, I mean, the preseason told us that this team wasn't going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work for Melo specifically, but I knew it was just not. It was chaos.
Yeah,
You got to win one game in the preseason.
fair.
Just one.
Fair.
One.
That's fair. Yeah, yo, I think the reason I asked this question is because there was a lot of people, and I remember having a convo about Manny with the shout out Manny, if you're watching, listening to this, where he was like, "Yo, they'll flip the switch. Like, don't worry, they're gonna flip the switch." And I was like, "What switch is there to flip?" There's a bunch of dudes who can't score consistently offensively. They all put in no effort defensively. So the one sliver of hope was I was like, all right, shit, maybe if they all lock down defensively, maybe that is the switch. But then we saw it in the last how many weeks? 2, 3, 4 weeks since the All-Star break. I don't know if it's, some people say they don't care. Some people say they just aren't able to, physically to play that type of defense. They don't have that chemistry. There's so many different things
It's
that
not
went
that.
wrong, I think. But me personally, I never thought there was like a switch. I was like, all right, shit. If they just start doing this better, they got this, because they sucked in all areas pretty much the entire season. Like offensively, they scored a decent amount of points and they were decent on fast break opportunities and shit like that. But almost every other category across the board, from rebounding to defensive field goal percentage to defensive points allowed to literally everything, they were in the bottom 5 of the league. So it's like, are they going to flip all of these switches? I doubt it. And here we are, April 4th, where it's with the team about to be eliminated in the next, 2-3 days.
Well, I don't know if we could double back on that, but
Go ahead.
I just wanted to point it out that they brought in Ariza, Howard, all these defensive-minded players, right? You would think they would try the so-called all-defensive type of players. Vogel never even touched them. Like now he's playing Howard, which is kind of odd because now that Davis is back, now he's playing Howard, which is so odd. But when Davis was out, he wasn't playing Howard.
Yeah,
They went with LeBron at 5.
A lot of them got more starts than Melo. Like I remember Ariza was on that list, like Wayne Ellington. Like there were a lot of dudes who got more starts, but the thing about it is
Gabriel.
Yeah, shit like that.
He's ready if needed.
Portland didn't even keep him. Like what's going on? Wenyen Gabriel.
Yo, the thing is,
where did Kent Bazemore go?
He's still on the team.
He's still on the team.
Yeah, he's still on the team.
Oh wow!
He's like Velo said, he's ready if needed. And the thing about it is, like when you tried those defensive lineups, they were still giving up 40 points to the Suns, 48 or whatever the fuck that was to the Suns in the first quarter. Like you were still down 21-2 to the Raptors in the first quarter. Like shit like this, where it just doesn't make fucking sense. Where when you did try the defensive guys, it still didn't work. So fucking try offensive. Try to match them offensively like Portland did.
But my problem with
gotten worse defensively.
It wasn't even a good defensive lineup. Like he would
No, it wasn't.
All defense and not one single offensive player. It would be like a whole defensive unit and then Westbrook is your offense. It didn't make sense. I don't know what Vogel was doing. I don't want to blame him either because this is what the GM gave him, LeBron and Pelinka. But when he did do a defensive unit, there was no offense. It would be like a Westbrook, Stanley Johnson or whatever his name is. Like that's your offensive player. So.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick, sorry to interrupt if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but just wanted to let you know that we have merch at Control the Narrative, and it's pretty fire, in my opinion. This is the Pixel Melo t-shirt that I'm rocking. Anything from Cuse Melo to New York Melo, Hoodie Melo. On this shirt, we got Scapegoat merch, we got Blackball merch, we got just regular Control merch. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, stickers. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. I think I got my point across. Go check it out. I bet you'll find something you like. Appreciate the support as well. Obviously, the merch sales help us fund these podcast episodes that we get to record every single week. So appreciate you. And back to the show.
Linda, we'll go right back to you on this one. Something that I saw some people tweeting about, and I was curious to get both of your opinions because I have my own opinion. Is this Lakers team the most disappointing team you've ever witnessed? And let's just keep it strictly basketball.
Strictly basketball, no. Because 2016, 2017 Knicks
are more disappointing than this Lakers team?
Yes, they are the more disappointing team. And it's obviously because of Phil Jackson. But they were above 500 well into December. And then, for whatever reason, Phil Jackson did what he did, pulled the plug on it, and, everything just went. D-Rose vanished and Noah fell off, and they were
more disappointing than LeBron and AD.
I'm more disappointed in that team than I knew. LA wasn't going to work. You understand me? So I can't be disappointed knowing what wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work.
So you're taking this?
Okay, I think
okay
3 is the next team that I was most disappointed in. After 2016, 2017 is OK 3 because they trade Melo away, making him be the scapegoat. And then they only improve one game after trading Melo when it's Russ and Paul George by themselves. So those two teams are way more disappointing. Right? Because these are the teams that say, yo, we're gonna support Melo. Melo's in a bigger role. We're gonna support Melo. We're gonna make him part of the team. I'm building around Melo. And it's working. Like both, remember, OK3 worked to start, and then Roberson got injured.
Season, until for a lot of the season.
Exactly. So these two teams, they were set to really contend for something. If the Knicks were like in the top 4 seed by the end of December, and then Phil did what he did. The Lakers were never a top 4 seed. They were never a top 7 seed or top 8 seed. Actually, they were always teetering on 8 and 9. So I couldn't be disappointed in them. I knew it wasn't going to work.
There was talks about this team winning, not by me, not by any of us, but by people, about this team winning 70 games.
Hell no. Who said that?
I saw it on ESPN or some shit. It was like a first take segment or some shit before the season. Yeah. Not saying that I thought that. It might have been. I could look it up, but I saw it real quickly on Twitter. Some bullshit like that.
It got to be Stephen A. or one of them.
Velo, what do you think?
No, when I read the question, I was thinking just about all the Lakers teams. I wasn't thinking like teams from other like franchises in general. But I guess for me, yes, you had some bad Laker teams in the last 5-7 years that we watched, and they were pretty bad. And we know that it was kind of it's hard for me. For whatever reason, like I know it's like Celtics, Lakers, and Knicks, but it's hard for me to imagine Lakers not having like high expectations. You know what I mean? Because like since I've been a kid, they've been winning. So for me, it's hard to understand that they don't have high expectations. They're not going to win at all. While I didn't have Knicks in my lifetime where they were like a winning franchise. You know what I mean? So for me, it's much harder to like see the Knicks as like this, franchise that is always trying to win,
Fair.
right? Because I haven't had that experience, even though I wanted them to win so badly.
We had those 3 years, Velo.
Huh?
We had those 3 years.
Yeah, about.
You ran over his credit last season.
Yeah, but I would say that this year, I mean, like you said, people were talking about 70 game being a championship team, right? And then you not even make the playoffs. You talk about team that had to start 5 or 6 Hall of Famers, guaranteed Hall of Famers, like 200 years of basketball experience, and you cannot like figure it out, what is going on and how you win some games together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a complete disaster. And then you hear stories, it's kind of like a cherry on top. Like, oh, we could have had DeRozan and we could have had, Buddy Hield, or we could have had all these people, so it doesn't make it any better, right? That you could have had, but you got to do what you do with what you have in house. And obviously it hasn't worked out. Westbrook has been like a roller coaster up and down. I feel like he had his good moments, but I feel like a lot of it was also really bad. That love-hate relationship with the fans, even, it kind of it wasn't a good year for him personally, I think, in LA. So I don't know. I do think that they're one of the most disappointing teams in general that like really underperformed and underdelivered with the amount of talent and experience that they have. And I'll kind of like leave it at that.
For sure, that's fair. 2 teams that I wanted to bring up because, again, I was searching through Twitter and I saw a few people were tweeting about this. Is one, the 2016 Warriors, when they won 73 games and then they lost in the championship, which is fair. But they were in the championship. They were 1 game away. So it is what it is. And then also people were bringing up like the Kobe, Dwight, Steve Nash Lakers.
Oh, no.
That wasn't on this level. That wasn't on this level. So like, again, man, there were teams. There were people who literally expected this team to win 70 games, and they're not going to make the playoffs in a league where 20 out of the 30 teams make the playoffs. Technically, if we're counting the play-in. Technically. Yeah, but even if you don't, the majority of the league, 16 out of 30 teams make the playoffs, and the Lakers couldn't be in the top half of the fucking league. It's so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me that you couldn't just be the top half, the top half of the league with LeBron. And again, we could go down and name all the rosters, but every player on the roster. But I think trading Rondo was a huge mistake.
Yes.
Because I feel like he was one of the point generals, and I feel but he controlled the team, and he always looked for our guy, and he always
that was a different team. That Rondo was on a different team or a different Laker team. This year Rondo was not. No.
He always looked for Melo, and it feels like every time he got in the game, good shit happened. But
I fucking love Rondo. I thought Rondo should have been the starting point guard.
I did too.
To be honest, I think the mistake was not seeing Kyle Lowry as a top tier point guard, because they could have gotten Kyle Lowry. They could have gotten DeRozan too.
You know, for who?
No, free agent.
Oh, I read some shit that said they didn't want to trade THT for him.
Right. They started for free agency. They could have gotten DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, honestly. And they chose, I'm assuming LeBron.
I was going to say, who's they? Because that's very important here.
Yeah, because I doubt, Kobe loved DeRozan, so there's no way Pelinka is going to say no to DeRozan, because Kobe loved DeRozan. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he did.
But, yeah.
He did because of LeBron.
And I think the snub, because he would have been going home. Westbrook got to go home, but
I was gonna say
DeRozan would have been
so
going
did Russ.
home. And look at, I mean, the Bulls have teetered off lately, but DeRozan has been balling. I think he took it as an offense and a front. Like he's putting on an MVP season.
Every time he played in LA this year, he made sure to ball the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. And the only
he
thing I
will
would
for the rest of his career.
Say that again.
And he will for the rest of his career.
100%.
For sure. Well, and there's also the LeBron dynamic because back in Toronto, LeBron would kick his ass all the time. And so now he's saying he's doing it. You know, he's giving it right back now. But I mean, I'm not disappointed, honestly. I just didn't.
Linda, to not even make the playoffs?
Didn't I tell you they weren't going to make the playoffs?
To make the playoffs. Not even win a championship.
Remember, all right, but remember, before the season started, I told you they would. People said it was a hot take. I said they're not making the playoffs. I got to find the tweet because I have the tweet. I said they will not make the playoffs.
And I don't even think.
People thought I was hating on Melo, like I didn't want him to get the championship. I don't want him to get the championship this way because it's a super team. I wanted Melo to have that distinction. I said I guarantee they won't make the playoffs.
Not in my wildest dreams or nightmares, however you want to look at it, did I think this team wouldn't make the fucking playoffs. Again, the whole reason that me personally did not want Melo in LA is because of exactly what happened. He was going to be sitting in the corner with his thumb up his ass, taking 3 threes a game and 1 or 2 2-point shots a game. And that's exactly what happened. And
although last game I was shocked.
18,
he got 9 2-point shots.
Yeah. No. He went 1 for 7 from 3. He got 11. He was 8 for 18 last game.
Yeah, so ain't that what's 9 plus 7 threes? That's okay. So he 11 2-point shots. And that's probably the season high.
And he went literally 7 for 11, and he missed that fucking finger roll at the end.
Yeah, so but I don't care about that. The game was over.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying he could have went 8 for 11. But yo, come on, like there is no team that the expectations were, they have to win a championship. And before the season, I was talking to a lot of people, and Linda, it sounds like you weren't in this boat, but we're talking about a lot of people like, if/when they win this ring, how much is it going to mean for Melo? And here we are, they're not making the playoffs. So when you just think about that, it's fucking crazy. And in my lifetime, I have never seen an NBA team more disappointing than this. I get the Knicks. That was obviously very disappointing, the Thunder and all that shit. But none of those teams were, this team's going to win the championship.
But who realistically thought this team would win a championship?
Everybody.
Every season but the bubble championship, they've not made the finals. They've not even come close to the second round or the third round. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it's just, again, the overestimating of LeBron's skills in making players better. They keep saying he makes players better. They don't get better. It's weird
how that happens, right?
They never get better. He just plays with stars. They don't get better.
Yeah.
Kyrie won the championship, AD, up until the finals when he got hurt, won the championship for LA in the bubble. And then they also played every hurt team you can imagine in the bubble. Nuggets got injured. Murray went out. He was hurt. The same with the Heat. Bam was hurt. The Rockets, every player got suspended for, COVID protocols or whatever. And the first round with OKC, no, was it OKC? I don't know Portland. Who they faced. It was Portland. Oh, Dame was injured. So they faced every injured opponent. They won the championship when Kobe tragically passed away. I didn't mean to put air quotes, but
I was gonna say, you don't think he passed away?
I was trying to tell you, but remember, I
know.
People thought it was conspiracy theories, and I said the NBA is giving them the championship because Kobe passed away.
I agree.
It's facts.
The way that first round series was, anyway.
The way the officiating was going and
everything. Yeah.
In the end.
All right. Go ahead. One last finish off, Linda.
I didn't think they were going to win the championship. I don't know.
Velo, did you think they were going to win the championship?
Yeah, man, of course. I was hoping for it secretly. I was hoping as a motherfucker.
Melo, you a Laker fan? He's a Laker
No,
fan,
I'm a
right?
Melo fan. I
No,
just
no.
want Melo to get a
Oh,
ring. I could care
Yeah.
less. Was it with Chicago Bulls or Oklahoma City Thunder? I just wanted Melo to get
Oh,
one.
I wanted him to
Of
go to
course.
Phoenix.
I want to New
wanted
York.
him-
Sure. I
New
just
York or Phoenix? Like, yeah, New York or
I don't
Phoenix.
know. I just thought this was gonna be like a lot better. That's what I thought. I thought that LeBron is gonna be passed first, and of course, this is the year when LeBron wins the fucking scoring title. Because why not, right? Let's pick.
Well,
this.
we'll see if he plays. He'll
Yeah,
make
I
sure to
don't
play these
know.
last few games. But
But you know
He's
what
gonna
I'm
go
saying,
for
like,
it. He's definitely gonna
he was
go for
going
it.
for,
You
I
know
was
LeBron wants
expecting,
his accolades.
lead assist of the league, LeBron, and I got scoring champ LeBron, of course, because why use Melo as what he
JJ
is, a
Redick.
professional killer and a scorer. Just use him as a 3-and-D guy in
as a
his
decoy.
team, because of
Decoy.
course, what you want to talk about, and why did Lakers actually bring Melo because he's a defensive stopper in year 19. That was his main purpose, to become
Yo,
defensive player of the
his
year.
defense has been
That's
great.
why
I
the
don't care
Lakers
what anybody say.
That's why the Lakers brought Melo, right?
Yeah.
He's this defensive stopper that's going to guard the Antetokounmpos and Jokic's of the world, right? That's why they brought him, not because he's the 9th all-time leading scorer, about to be number 8 really quickly in the first half of the year next season.
Yeah.
Not because of that, not because he's one of the best scorers of all time, not because he can score on anybody no matter what. No, they didn't bring him because of that. So that's where I feel like a lot of it got lost from and also like the lineups are so weird. Like this go in for 19 seconds and then come out, then come in for 2.5 minutes, then go sit down. Like I don't know what is going on there.
I agree.
It's so weird. But as I said, I am the one that I'm going to give them a benefit of a doubt, just because they didn't have AD for so long and you don't have LeBron for so long. Of course, it's going to cost you some games. But it was just, I don't know, man. I can go on and on.
All right, Velo, go on about this.
All right, last interruption, because if you're watching or listening to the podcast for this long, you probably fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the perks that you get from being a Control the Narrative member, whether that's access to our invite-only Discord where we're talking basketball all the time, or opportunities to join the next episode of Control. So whenever we need a guest, I go in our Discord, I say, yo, who's free? Who wants to hop on the next episode? And I pick from there. You get 20% off merch forever, and then you also get member-exclusive merch, all by being a member. Tiers start at $2 a month. So if you fuck with us, go check out a membership, CTRLthenarrative.com, and I will see you in the Discord. All right, back to the show for good.
Which guys on the roster deserve no blame whatsoever?
Rajon Rondo, no blame.
Right off the bat.
That motherfucker got out at the right time. He said bye, and he's gonna be in the playoffs, which is crazy, right? Because Cleveland was winning even before Rondo. Like they got on the hot streak, but when he got there, they just continued that.
He made a big difference.
Yeah. And I think, Garland really appreciates his like mentorship and whatnot, which I was hoping that THT is gonna get, but that obviously didn't happen. I think he cannot get, and honestly, not because he's our boy, but I genuinely do feel like Melo overperformed, right? You're paying him vet minimum. He's averaging 13.5 points. He's grabbing 4 rebounds. He's averaging an assist and almost a block in 25 minutes. He's shooting like 38% from 3, 83 from free throw line. He's like 44, 45 from the field. Like he's doing it all in year 19 in the role that he's getting for like 25, 26 minutes a game. So like he is overperforming some 4-year, $80 million contracts, right? Like his numbers are on par with like Fournier, who's going to pay like what, 18, 19 million bucks.
Out,
For
yeah.
16, some shit like that.
you look at some
He's
stuff
playing
like
better
that.
than Fournier.
Yeah, making like what? Gallinari's making like 20 mil. You know what I mean? Like, and he's putting up those type of numbers. So
He chose that.
he definitely, I think he
Shows that.
basically overperformed his contract for the last 2-3 years that he's been playing for basically Lakers and Portland, right? But you know what his mission is all about? He wants to get that ring, and Oliver wants to say hi and
Hi, Oliver.
his opinions about Carmelo and whatnot. But yeah, I would say Rondo and Melo, and I would call out just Reeves. I think Reeves also overperformed. I don't think anybody expected him to be the player that he was and to have as big of a role as he actually did.
Game-winning
So from
shots.
that perspective, I think he delivered, and I don't think he honestly should be out of the lineup right now. He should be probably THT that is sitting before Reeves, because Reeves can actually knock down a jump shot from time to time. With THT, you get about 3-4 bricks, so guaranteed. Always go over if you can on THT's bricks. Always go. But yeah, so those three guys.
Word. I agree. Linda, what do you think?
So the question was, I kind of wrote down notes in the opposite. I thought the question said which guys deserve blame,
No,
but it says
no
no
blame.
blame. Well, I was gonna say no one deserves blame because you can't fault anyone for injuries. I mean, even though it was obvious that they were going to be losing because, again, the preseason just bewildered me. But I don't want to blame Russ because, listen, we all saw what blaming someone does to their career. After what I saw Carmelo Anthony go through, I'm not going to do it. We're not even going to be bitter. I'm not.
So that's why we're saying no blame.
No blame. So I wouldn't blame anyone, not even Vogel. Not even there's no one you can blame. They were injury. They were decimated with injury. Russ, you saw when he's without LeBron, he plays up to his, star talent. Carmelo, it's insane how he has excelled in this JJ Redick role for the most part. And the team is so bad. The team is so bad, and he's still performing so well. So obviously you can't blame Melo, even though they're trying to now at the end of the season,
I love that. So good.
with the defense. They watch their team not play defense all season, but now Melo's defense is the problem.
Yeah.
And so you can't blame Vogel. He doesn't have a healthy roster, 30-something lineups. You ever tried Melo?
But isn't that his fault, Linda?
With the injuries? No, you can't blame
him.
him.
No. The different lineups, like, of course, injuries happen. Like, of course, but 39.
Not trying Melo, yes. I do
39.
blame him for that. I do blame him for trying Awenya and Gabriel. Was not known for defense. Stanley Johnson, come on. He's not a defender. All right. They tried it for a couple of games. It was, it was the Jeremy Lin type of thing where no one knows who this kid is. And so he puts on a show. And then once that week passed, Stanley Johnson was essentially useless. The other Wenya Gabriel, useless. Any other player that they tried. I do like DJ. I like the pickup of DJ Augustine. He can shoot. I've always been a fan of DJ Augustine. Well. But yeah, I can't blame anyone. Anthony Davis, injury prone. Can't blame him. He's just made of glass. You can't blame him for that. So it's like asking who would you blame for the Warriors being trashed the last couple of years? You can't blame anybody because KD got hurt, Klay Thompson got hurt.
Steve, please go opposite.
I wouldn't do that to anyone. I just wouldn't do that because I saw what happened to Melo.
Please go what?
I'm not doing it.
I say, please go opposite direction. Just say that you blame everybody, and then just start.
I'm blaming everybody on the team and the coaching staff besides 3 people.
No,
Carmelo
you know
Anthony?
what? I do have somebody.
Go ahead.
I do have somebody that should take all the blame because things really went bad once he arrived. So Jason Kidd obviously moved to Dallas, and then they signed, guess who?
Fizdale?
As a coach. Fizdale. No, they really went really bad when he arrived. Like it was a shit show when he arrived. Like they were teetering on 8 and 9, and then he comes and they're like all the way at the bottom of the West.
You know what? I was gonna hold my tongue here, but I'll just say it, and I've said it on the podcast before. When Vogel was out for that week, the Lakers played really well and utilized Carmelo Anthony, and Fizdale was the acting head coach.
But was LeBron and AD injured at that point, or were they?
I don't remember.
I think they both were out. That because he started 3 games.
I don't know. I just remember Fizdale was coaching.
I think Fizz started him.
I think LeBron played some games because I think they played in Memphis, one of the games
But that's when Melo scored the most this season. Remember? That's the when he moved into ninth all time.
That was in LA.
Game.
That was earlier.
But it was against I know it was against Memphis.
That was the second highest. Yeah, he had 28. The highest he had all year was 29 against Charlotte.
But I know it was the ninth all-time game. It was that game.
Yeah, it was. He hit that.
Was Fizz the coach on that one?
I don't know.
Head
But
coach on that?
all right, fair to blame Fizdale. I'm blaming every single person on the team and the coaching staff besides 3 people. Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, and Austin Reeves. Those 3 dudes not only met expectations, but excelled expectations. Carmelo Anthony, 13.5 off the bench on a veterans minimum contract in a spot-up role primarily. Then you have Austin Reeves, who's an undrafted rookie coming in, and he's a smart fucking player. There's just like cuts he makes, and defensively, like he does a lot of smart things, taking charges. I wasn't impressed. He is a decent shooter. He had some big shots, game-winning shots, obviously. Malik Monk coming in, again, that 1-year deal, a prove-it deal. He came and he more than held up his end of the bargain. Coming off the bench.
I blame none too.
None for sure. But
my God.
Those 3, Melo, Monk, and Reeves, were 3 guys who, no matter what happened, and again, there's ups and downs of the season. Melo's went through bad stretches. Monk has went through bad stretches. Reeves has went through bad stretches. But at the end of the day, those 3 guys, when the season is finally over and we can go back and look at it, those are 3 guys. They're going to be like, yo, they held up their end of the bargain. And if everybody else did, I think we'd be having a way different conversation right now. Okay. Velo, no Monk for you?
No, I definitely agree with Monk. I was just kind of joking, half jokingly when I said Rondo. I definitely agree with Monk. I mean, he's also on a vets minimum.
1 year, $5 million.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Wow. Like he's overplaying that by a 0, So he's gonna get paid, and Lakers should keep him. I think he's also gonna become more poised because you did see him make some silly mistakes throughout the year. But I think he did get better as a decision maker, and they put the ball in his hands and let him create and be that kind of J.R. Smith, John Crawford, Jamal Crawford.
He's a J.R. Smith.
He just kind of comes in and cooks, which I think is like a perfect role for him. I literally feel like he can be the best 6-man of all time if he really put his mind to it. I really feel like he can win like 4 or 5 of those.
Bold statement, fella.
I really do feel like if he put his mind to it, I'm gonna be the best 6th player of all time. I'm just gonna come in off bench and just play 32 minutes and close games and fucking get 15 shots a game. Like I really feel like that is the best possible role for that guy. But we'll see. He's still young. I think he's only 25, 26,
something like that.
Something like that. So I think he has time to do that.
It was the best 6-man of all time. Is it Jamal Crawford?
Yeah,
I think it was Jamal
for sure.
Jamal Crawford.
And then half of Manu Ginobili's career.
Lou Will.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Even JR, man. People forget, bro. JR has been coming off the bench for the Nuggets too, and Knicks successfully for a long time.
With Melo. Melo doesn't make players better.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish we
all get awards when they're playing with Melo.
With this multiverse happening, man, across Marvel universe, it would be nice to get a multiverse that brings Melo back to best Knicks days or best Nuggets days with actual wins at the end.
Yeah, and not passing it to Jared Jeffries at the end of playoff games and shit like that. Bro. Not attacking the rim against Roy Hibbert, but anyway. I can't believe I just brought that up.
He was fouled on that one.
Linda, let's finish it off. But before the control narrative, let's finish up with this one. Pretty simple question. Let's keep this probably to 2 or 3 minutes each if we can. Did the Lakers put Melo in a position to succeed this season?
Why is that a question? We know the answer.
Elaborate.
Of course not.
Come on, son.
Although again, playing the JJ Redick role, he's excelling. Listen, I'm shocked he's been this good in a role that he should not be playing. He should not be playing in this role, right? I don't mind him coming off the bench. I just hate that, and you can see LeBron's doing it. Everyone's doing it. They want him to just be in the corner and hit the spot up threes. It's just 9th all-time scorer. So even if he's off the bench is not it's clearly not an issue for him anymore. The role is the problem. That's the role that they wanted, and I knew it was coming. So I knew it. I wanted him to go to the Knicks or with Chris Paul, because when he was playing with Chris Paul without Harden in Houston, they were balling. They gelled, and the only person that doesn't treat Melo like that is Anthony Davis, honestly, but he's rarely playing.
And Rondo didn't.
DJ Augustine, right? Rondo. I mean, I don't remember Rondo. I really wasn't watching. Half the season I wasn't watching because it was just nothing but losses. But to keep it to 3 minutes, this is a guy who can get 20 and 6 a night. He's averaging nearly 14 and 4 off the bench in 25 minutes. He still could get 20 and 6. And no, they did not. They just wanted him to be the shooter. And to his credit, he trained that way. We saw it in the offseason. He trained to be just that 3-point shooter. He probably knew that was the role. I'm assuming the way he trained. So, but no.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Velo. Again, I think we all agree, but just
I think we all agree, but I'll just add to it, no, I don't think they put him in a position to be successful, but I will add that he took the most out of the position that he was put in. And I think that is important for all of us to know. I think he thrived in the role that he played. I think he had an amazingly hot start and probably won 5 or 6 games out of first 30 games for the Lakers with his hot shooting, specifically at home. I think with better kind of lineup and them being healthier, I think he probably could have prolonged that, for the entirety of the year. If LeBron was there the entire time, if AD was there the entire time, and they didn't miss time. But obviously they didn't. I think he was tired sometimes a little bit on the second leg back to back, and he wouldn't have his legs and wouldn't have his lift. So I think he had some of not so great performances, but overall, I give him a strong, A- type of year, right? I really think that and that A- is just because I keep him to such a high standard that every year I come in with expecting him to score 18, 20, 9, whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's what I expect from him. So that's just because of my high standards. But I think he's been great. $2.5 million a year, you get that type of production. I think any team would take that. And he has been reliable, right? You can count on him in clutch. I think only what if moment for this year, honestly, for me, is what if he makes that shot in Houston and he just wins the game. And then that specifically after so many games where they went through Westbrook or LeBron instead of going through him. So I think if he hits the shots, it's kind of the moment where hey man, just if we're in this situation, give me the fucking ball and I'll solve it. So I think that is the only shot that I really truly wish that it went down. But besides that, I think we had a really, really great season. And I think if by some miracle they don't end up in a playing game, some miracle, I do feel like it's still an extremely disappointing year just because, it's just wasted year. And I know, as I said, it makes me happy to know that he's going to play for a couple more years, probably just because he just he almost doesn't feel real that he's going to stop now because he's been so good. That makes me happy because there's no drop now in his game. He's almost even getting a little bit better.
Career high in 2-point percent. I think third highest 3-point percent.
So you're hoping that can prolong his career, and he takes great care of his body. So seeing him for additional 2-3 years in the league, bro, that would make me happy. So
yeah.
And
Linda, you got something?
Just to his credit, again, I was really surprised that he was. I mean, I wasn't surprised at the start of the season how he was playing because with the Portland Trailblazers, he came back, got Player of the Week, just like that. So we know what he's capable of. But I was shocked that despite how great he was playing, he didn't pass Shaq for 8th all time. That's how bad this role was. Not that he played bad. The lack of shots, lack of looking for him. He's still 9th all time. He should have passed Shaq this season. And that's how he's been stuck on 9th for the past 25. How many games since he got 9th? 50 games?
Yeah, I think it was.
Because he got it real early into the season. He got 9th early. And then he's played 50 some odd games. Still stuck on 9th. And it was only 600, 800 points or something like that. the distance between 9th and 8th. So that's how you know this role was not ideal in the sense of how they, try to look for him or try to make him be peak Melo in terms of his skill set. You know what I'm saying?
Linda, you said something before when you were answering for the first time that had me thinking of, they expected him to be the spot up shooter, which like obviously we've been talking about. One thing that just came to my mind, and like again, agree with everything you two said, like this is not his role. It shouldn't be his role, but he also did get the best out of it, where he shot almost 38% from three, career high percent from two. Like he was extremely efficient from the free throw line to 83% or some shit like that. So, I think the Team USA role and him coming off the bench and being that spot up shooter and kind of being that USA Melo, that Olympic Melo that everybody talks about, it did great things for him. Obviously, he's one of the, if not the best American Olympic basketball player ever, or just Olympic basketball player ever, him and KD. But I almost wonder if, teams look at that, and obviously it's way fucking different. The 3-point line is closer. You're playing against much different competition, different rules, different things like that in
Teammates
Olympic
are different.
basketball. Of course, in Olympic basketball versus the NBA. But I almost wonder if it's like an unfair comparison for front offices to make and coaches to make, trying to convert Team USA Melo to NBA Melo.
Well,
it just crossed my mind for the first time.
But Team USA, he still got all his shots. Like they didn't. Coach K
he did a lot of spot up shooting.
Yeah, but remember his last Olympic entry, he was the starter. He was basically the savior of that team, right? So that was just like 1 or 2 Olympic, trials. The last one, he was back to Melo. And my thing is, I think why he's taking these roles, because he could have gone to the Knicks and be a starter, honestly. I think he's taking these roles besides the championship to kill that narrative that people keep peddling. They keep asking the same question every season. Are you okay coming off the bench? Are you okay having the diminished role? Could you be a role player? That's why he's doing it. He's killing.
It's for the chip, but I think that also helps. It's definitely for the chip.
He's squashing that because he doesn't want to be put out of the league again. Like,
I honestly don't even think that we saw peak 3-point Melo. To be completely honest with you.
That was
like, I really do feel like he just goes back in the lab this summer and just keep shooting that three, keep shooting that three, keep shooting that three, keep just shooting a little bit deeper. And I feel like he works on his conditioning and he's ready to just run in that corner and to get it and to knock down 3 or 4 of those a game. And that's going to be his role going forward. And I think for whatever reason, like he's fine with it. And if he's fine with it, I'm fine with it because he looks happy in LA. Now it could be like fake laughs and whatnot, but he
ain't happy.
He was laughing, so I don't know. As long as he's happy, I'm happy. So we will see what happens.
He's with his brother. Like he says LeBron's his brother, so he's gonna laugh.
He's a single.
But I don't think there's no way he's happy.
He's a single man in LA. I can think of worse places to be.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Well, I'm a female, so can't speak to that.
Yeah.
Well, same last. I'm pretty sure. What they say. LA 10 is whatever. So
yeah, that's fair. Yo, Velo, Linda, that was dope. I appreciate you both for coming on pretty short notice and having this convo because it's just been a rough year, just all around. Seeing Melo stand in the corner while the Lakers lose has just been demoralizing in a lot of ways. And I'd be lying and again, the season's not over yet, but I'd be lying if I said there were a lot of times that I turn on the Lakers game and I just don't look forward to it. And I know that in a month or two from now when it's the summer and we're like, fuck, I wish we could watch Melo or the Lakers or some shit, we'll look back on this and be like, fuck, like I wish the Lakers had a game tonight. But just during it's just been rough. So I appreciate you both for coming on and kind of recapping it. How much you pay
for a Laker League Pass, by the way?
It was like $18 a month. With like it is what it is, but
I paid for Portland League Pass. I didn't pay for LA League Pass.
Yeah,
hey man, tag LeBron, tell him to Venmo you back.
Yeah,
he fucking
you a refund. That tweet,
his ass.
I blame that tweet too.
That shit, yeah. Keep that same energy. I've been trying to keep it with him, and he hasn't answered my tweets.
He tweeted that. Yeah, I bet you he
But-
deleted that tweet.
Yeah, I think he did.
He
But,
did because
I think
nobody
he
can
did.
retweet it now.
I think he did, yeah. Because I just keep seeing screenshots of it.
Mm.
But yo, before I let you both go, I want to give you both the opportunity to control a narrative. It doesn't have to be basketball related, it doesn't have to be Melo or sports related. So whoever has one, you can take the floor.
Yeah.
So I'll toss it up to one of you.
I went first the last one, so if he's got something.
Velo, you got one?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll control the narrative, and I'll just kind of control it for our guy even a little bit further. Do it for Melo. Year 19, 13.5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 45 from the field, 38 from the 3, 84 from the free throw line in 26 minutes. I mean, it just makes me happy because I know that he's going to play 2-3 more years. You know, I was literally thinking about it yesterday. I was like, oh, wow, that means that I get to watch Melo for 2 or 3 more years, right? I don't have to say goodbye. So, like, from that perspective, like, I'm, like, really happy and excited about that. And as I said, I feel like as long as he's happy and excited, you know, I'm good. No matter what team he's going to go, Orlando Magic, Lakers, whatever. Like, I just wish that he comes back to the Knicks coast so I can go to bed earlier. But anyway, no,
Yeah.
but from that perspective, just, you know, as I said, I think he's been a great teammate. I think he kind of keeps eliminating and pushing the narrative in the right direction, that he's not this cancer that media kind of labeled him throughout, you know, the early 2010s to you know, later in Knicks. So I'm just glad to see that, you know, where they're constantly calling out his leadership. I think he had a couple of really good moments on the bench that translated to wins. I think the Detroit game and a couple of other games. So I think that is another great narrative that I was happy to see. And as I said, I don't know what's next, and there's a couple of scenarios that I would like to see, but obviously offseason might show us different. But there's a couple of themes I would like him to see next year. And I was really thinking, how cool would it be to see Melo play with Luka? Like somebody like Luka, just in whatever role. Like I think Luka would recognize and be happy that he can take time off and just give Melo ball on the post and just take a possession off.
He was a big Melo fan.
So he can just knock down that 3, because we know Melo is
was.
a great now catching 3 shooter, specifically when he's by himself. And how many, you know, wide open passes, you know, would Luka find him with that, you know, he can knock down. So that's kind of like my dark horse. And we know that he had Mark Cuban on for What's in Your Glass. So there's some connections there, right? Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. But I was just thinking, how cool would it be to see him with a player like that, of that caliber, which I was hoping that LeBron is actually going to be for him. But
that's what I was going to say. We heard the same thing before this season. Yo, LeBron's going to get him so many open looks.
But as I said earlier, we got the scoring LeBron in the year when we needed to get like the assist leader LeBron. So, but yeah, so shout out to Melo, man. Year 19, it was great watching him. And he played like he's going to play over 70 games, right? So he was available.
Yeah, he's at 68.
He didn't miss like half of the season, which is also really, really, really impressive. So shout out to Melo, man. Excited for possible, potential, probably not play-in game, and for the beginning of the offseason, we can start this whole thing again and see where our boy is actually going to end up.
Well said, man. I was just gonna say Velo ending the shit with some positivity, and then he had to throw that playing comment in there. But
yeah, no.
Fuck it. Linda, you got.
I'm actually, you know, I might. People might take this the wrong way, but I want Melo to ask for a release, because if he could get on another team by April 10th, he's going to the playoffs.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, no, he has until April 10th.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the cutoff. He has to get out of there by April 10th, but he probably ain't gonna do that. He gonna ride or die. I was gonna go with the Melo thing, but Velo handled that, so I don't need to add nothing to that. But I will say, because I'm a female, I think I want to control the narrative on female voices in sports, not just basketball. You know, because this is why on my podcast I don't really cover the Lakers season too much. I try to stay away from it because, you know, all the things I said earlier in the season, people ain't trying to hear that now, you know. So I'm trying to control that narrative on diminishing or dismissing female voices in sports, not taking us seriously. I said they wouldn't make the playoffs. People laugh. You know, they use my gender as a subset of why my argument was not strong, rather than, you know, debating the argument itself. So we got to stop that. Females know what they're talking about when it comes to sports. Outside of Serena and Venus, no female athlete is really respected for their craft. So I need that to stop. Like, we in 2022, like it's got to stop. We got to end that. So that's the only thing I'm trying to control the narrative on.
Facts. You got to get that tweet. If you find that tweet and you start spreading that around, I'll retweet it.
Oh,
and
I'm gonna post it somewhere. I'm gonna find that.
Yeah, you got to find that. So I don't remember you saying the Lakers won't make the playoffs, but if you said that, respect.
I'll find it.
Respect.
I gotta find it. I'll find it.
But all right, Linda, Velo,
Mm-hmm.
Oliver, I appreciate you all for coming.
Right,
on the show
Oliver.
tonight.
My dog shy, so he down on the floor, but
Right. For real though, I appreciate you both for taking time out again on mad short notice like that. Linda has a podcast. We're gonna put the info in the YouTube description for you. Politician for Sport. Velo, you got anything you want to plug real quick?
No, man, just put my let people follow me, give a shout out on Twitter. I know we have a decent following between you and Control the Narrative, so I like to engage with even more people that are on the same path.
Gotcha. And we'll tag you both in Instagram Reels too.
Yep.
Thanks.
At Velo15.
Wait, his name is Melo or Velo?
Velo. She's like, wait, I've been calling him Velo the whole fucking time.
Victory.
Velo. Okay. Velo.
I appreciate you both.
Nice to meet you. All right.
All right.